everybody. So this is the Hallmarkies podcast, and we are so excited today to be here talking about fall harvest films. And it's been a pretty fun slate. And I'm Rachel, and Lisa's here.
Hi. Hey, everybody.
Thanks so much for coming on and talking about these movies with me.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. What were your overall feelings about this, the slate as a whole?
Well, I was nervous because the fall movies are actually my favorite. I love all the fall movies, and I love everything about fall. So I love seeing the leaves and the pumpkins and all the people drinking pumpkin spice stuff, even though I hate it. I love it all. And so, but I was pleasantly surprised. Overall, I had a really good time this season.
Yeah. All right. Our first movie, Truly, Madly, Sweetly. This is Natalie, the owner of a San Francisco food truck business selling cupcakes, and Eric, finance manager and divorced dad, are brought together when Eric's aunt, also a longtime customer of Natalie's, passes away and leaves them a building which happens to be the site of a once famous bakery. Forced into this new partnership, they discover selling the building won't be easy because it has been declared a historical site. Romance blooms as they spend time together in the process of renovating the old bakery. However, Natalie's desire to keep things strictly business could put an end to the partnership before the grand opening. So this movie starred Nikki DeLoach, who's been in a number of Hallmark movies. Perfect Catch, well, most recently, and she was in, I think, My Dream of Christmas, I think that's called, or My Christmas Dream, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. And then Dylan Neal, who was in The Gourmet Detective and on Cedar Cove. It has June B. Wild, who is in The Christmas Shepherd, Karen Holness, who's been in a million. But most recently, she was in Finding Santa and The Christmas Train. And then Allison Wanzura was just in The Garage Sale Mystery, Murder in D Minor. So, and she was in another one this season. So,
right.
So there you go. So what was your overall thought about this movie?
I thought it was a decent start. I will say that after seeing all of them, it wasn't my absolute favorite, but I had fun with it. I thought it was a good idea. I think most of what I liked about it was all the pre-reading and stuff that I did beforehand, listening to podcasts and reading blogs and stuff and hearing a little bit of the background. That kind of enhanced the, my viewing experience, if you will. But overall, I thought it was cute. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it did have some really funny elements to it, like the whole thing with him, like not being able to cook, and yet they make from one lesson they make this huge spread at this bake sale. I'm like, how did that happen? Like, what's going on? And also, like the whole oven overheats, making the sprinklers go off, was insane.
Yeah, and
if you have a bakery where a hot oven makes the sprinklers go off, and it's going to be a problem. Like,
I'm going to go ahead and say you probably shouldn't bake there on a regular basis.
Probably not. And they managed to get all of that baking done and fixed in a very short period of time, as well as the renovations to this bakery were
very $20 range-ish, but they made it seem like it was like, we can't possibly afford this, and then they would just sweep, and it was like, oh, everything is better. Hey,
They just needed a good scrub, evidently, but these bids were like $25,000. It was like really out of control. And also, like, I'm pretty sure that the Allison Wanzura character selling or getting a sale on a house or property without the owner's consent, pretty sure that's illegal. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, you kind of need like a contract in place, before you go ahead and
I think you lose your license. So all that was ridiculous. And I really would have loved at the end when she took the bite of his recipe cupcake, if it had been like completely awful, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been so funny.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But I thought they nailed a lot of like classic tropes. They did really well. Like I thought the opening meet cute, crash into each other, whatever, was really well done and really cute. And I don't know, did you have any particular parts that you particularly liked that stood out to you?
I mean, yeah, I liked their meet cute. I liked them just kept seeing each other on the way up to the same place, and because it was so awkward, when you try not to make eye contact with somebody you've already made eye contact with, then you end up doing it more, and it was really stressing me out as somebody with anxiety. I was like, don't look, oh, they're there. But I liked the cooking scenes.
Yeah, they were really cute. A lot of really cute cooking montages. I also really liked Nikki DeLoach in this. I thought that she did a really good job with the physical comedy. She almost reminded me a little bit of Alicia Witt in her facial expressions, her comic timing. I thought she did a really good job with that.
Right. This is actually one of my favorite of hers.
Yeah.
This role, I thought she was really cute in it.
Yeah. What did you think of his character?
It's funny because I know he's been in a ton of Hallmark stuff, but this is actually the first thing I've ever actually watched him in.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he is seasoned beyond seasoning. Is that a phrase? I don't know. You can tell he knows. I mean, you can tell he comes in and he's doing his work and that he sells it. But I'd never seen him in anything before, so I kind of went in blind, not knowing to expect. But I enjoyed him. I mean, I thought they responded well to each other. I mean, they both obviously are professionals, and they both came to work and they showed it, and I enjoyed their interactions together. I mean, he made me laugh. I thought he was pretty funny.
Yeah, I really liked when he went over to her house to help her cook or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, sure, and his daughter's like, what are you wearing to go? That was really cute.
Oh, that was so terrible. He thought it was a date, and he was like, oh,
it was really cute.
That cracked me up. Yeah,
it was really good. And they did little things to kind of make him a businessman with a heart, because this movie was all set in the city, which is very risky. So not very but of course he loses his job, and it was weird. He loses his job via letter. Like what?
Yeah,
that was weird. But he loses his job, so that immediately makes you feel sorry for him. And he has a daughter, so of course that makes him somewhat likable.
Right.
And he seems to be a pretty decent dad as far as helping her with the bake sale and all of this stuff. I'm not sure how he never learned how to cook at all, but with this aunt that he spent so much time with, I guess maybe it's kind of like they say the cobbler's kids have no shoes. Maybe it's kind of like that.
It's like that, yeah.
But I kind of wondered too if she thought that whole little meetup to cook was more than just helping to cook, because she made cinnamon rolls, which is cinnamon. Cinnamon's an aphrodisiac, so
maybe deep down she
didn't
know why she was making cinnamon rolls, but she's like, this situation calls for cinnamon rolls.
I also liked the fact that all the food looked yummy, as opposed to, even though I really enjoyed the sweetest heart more than most people, I feel like most of the cupcakes in that movie sounded
ridiculous,
disgusting. So gross.
I don't want rosemary in my cupcakes. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't. Sure, it's amazing, but I'm sorry.
Disgusting. I don't want that. And she does end up selling her food truck in order to have the bakery, be able to have the bakery, which is a shame, because it seems like that would be a really good way to, promote the bakery if you have a storefront and a food truck. But I guess they needed the money.
Well, I'm like, okay, in the end, I think they probably did about $500 of work, and I feel like that could have probably been put on a credit card.
Yeah.
You could have kept your truck.
Get like a home improvement loan or something like that. Yeah.
Like,
What do they call those? Home equity loan. Yeah.
yeah.
Because he did have a pretty nice. They both had pretty nice apartments in the city.
Right. I liked how she kept calling it a carriage house. He's like, the garage is like carriage house.
Which we
Like,
never got to see inside the
I know.
carriage house. What? What if there was some like vintage automobile
Yeah.
in there?
Something they could have sold, so she went and sell her food truck.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought it was funny at the end when they had that big smoke situation and they're having to recook everything, rebake everything.
Right.
And who was the woman that was her partner in the food truck?
That was Karen Holness, the actor. I don't remember her name.
Okay, I think her character's name was Sam. And at one point she was like, more? And I'm like, more? How are you surprised? You own a bakery. You run a bakery. Of course there's more. She was like, more? And I'm like, yes, there's more. You have to fill cases for tomorrow. I just thought that was funny.
There's the customers that are going to be hopefully coming. You want more.
Yeah, just made me laugh. I felt like, oh my God, more? We're making more? Yeah, you're making more.
Yeah. 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 What else? I did think that there was a little bit of chemistry between the Karen Holness character and the other, like his friend.
Yes, I was there for that, and I wish they would have had more on that because that was cute.
I could have had more on that too, like a little I don't know, little date or something like that would have been kind of fun. Yeah.
They alluded to it, but I need more.
That's why I kind of liked The Sweetest Heart, because I really thought that it was pretty close to getting like 3 couples and their stories. That's why I liked it. But yeah, they were still pretty fun. And if they were to ever do a spinoff, it could be about those. That'd be great.
Exactly. I'd be all for that.
And overall, I just thought it was really a pleasant way to spend a Saturday evening. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was cute. Yeah.
I mean, I won't protect it on my DVR.
Right.
But I would watch it again if it came on.
Right.
There you go.
That's fair. I liked like the lady at the bank. That's pretty. She's like, decline.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. So all of that really worked. I liked it. How out of 5, how many crowns would you give it?
I gave this one 3.5.
Very good. I'm basically on the same page. I will also give it 3.5. And my ranking of this one is at number 21 out of 56. So there you go. I have it. What's that?
Middle of the pack.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. Then we got Falling for You. This stars Tyler Hynes in his Hallmark debut, and Taylor Cole. He actually filmed this one second, and it's Christmas Eve first.
Oh.
But then they aired it different. And I got to interview him, and it's really interesting because I really enjoyed the interview. He was very charming and very great, but I wasn't quite sure if he was going to be a good fit for Hallmark. I wasn't sure if he was very chill and very relaxed. And I don't know, I just wasn't sure if he would be, like his vibe would be a great fit, as nice and wonderful as he was. Taylor Cole, wasn't my favorite for a while, but then I loved One Winter Weekend. And I loved this movie. I thought this movie was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. They both worked so well. We're going to talk about all the reasons why I liked it so much. But what about you? What was your feeling overall?
Same. I loved it. I thought this one was super cute, and I totally protected it on my DVR. It's there, and when it comes out, if it comes out on DVD, I'll probably buy it. I thought it was cute. I loved it.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you had the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many things about this movie that made it really unique and really different. first of all, I really liked the fact that she was treated as a serious character whose goals and aspirations were taken seriously by the script.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciated that. This is directed by Peter DeLuise, who's one of the best of Hallmark directors. And I really thought that it was great that, you know, she gets this job in the city, this offer for this job in the city. And I couldn't believe it, frankly, that she actually takes the job. I was like,
yeah,
oh, this is epic for Hallmark.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a single movie where the character from the small town actually takes the job. And I thought that was so great. And I loved the fact that he still gave his presentation, but he was like, you know what, guys, can we do it a little earlier so I can make this big event?
Yeah.
That was great. And then at the end, when he says, when she says that, you know, she got this this job or whatever, and he was like, I'll be there for you to support you.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a great relationship. And I really thought the overall message of the movie was not really about romance exactly. It was about somebody gaining confidence in who they are.
Right.
And that was so great. I loved it.
I 100% agree. I mean, it felt like the relationship was just icing on the cake. Like it was just a nice movie about a woman who just happens to, I mean, I still would have enjoyed it regardless because I thought her progression was amazing. I loved watching her grow. It was just a nice little add-in. Oh, there's this guy with this like really amazing voice. Every time he talked, I was like, yes, read me bedtime stories.
Yeah. What did you think of him, of Tyler Hines in the role?
I mean, first Hallmark movie, you never know.
Right,
I mean,
right. Yeah.
So you never know. You go in and you hope for the best and you're just like, whatever. But yeah, from the first moment he opened his mouth and I heard that voice, I was like, okay, I am in and go. Everything you say is amazing.
Yeah, he was very handsome. And the fact that there was a little bit of nuance to his character, like the fact that he was this app designer, he wasn't just like a evil man of business. I appreciated that.
Although, can I say though that I'm sorry. Okay, it's not a large part of my job, but I do code emails, so I have to deal with HTML, and sometimes I have to dig into on website CSS, but I'm not like a developer. I'm on the other side of it, just making it look nice. And I deal with code. And first of all, I don't look at code on an iPad. Second of all, I don't look at code at 70-point font, giant. Like, I mean, that it was like 4 lines of code, so ginormous. I busted out laughing. And I was like, what is he doing? Why does he need it so big? Like, you only see like this much of like this giant mass of code that I'm like, what is he looking at?
Yeah.
Like, it's not hidden characters in there. Like, what is he doing? That I died laughing when I saw that giant code on that iPad.
Well, and there were a couple other things that were funny. Like when that guy came into the store and said, I only want to cook for Jenny, I died. So bad.
I'd go out on a limb and say he and Jenny aren't going to last very long. She doesn't even want him baking in a fundraiser to help the town.
Also, I don't really understand this thing as a fundraiser. It's the same. I'm going to bring this up again in Love, of course. There were two fundraisers that didn't really make a whole lot of sense because if she's, first of all, she is completely unable to budget. Like, you're trying to make money. It's a fundraiser. This isn't like, what? It was very, like, I didn't understand how the event was really going to make money. Plus the fact that, like, this is the most festival-ish town, like, even for Hallmark. They have a jam festival, a lantern walk, and like, what? This is intense. This is like dedication to fall.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm with you because sometimes I'm like, how does this make money? Wouldn't you rather just do a GoFundMe and say, hey, you like the radio station, give us money and we don't have to buy anything else with it. we'll just take your money and keep
Yeah.
providing the radio station because it's awesome. But um, the fact that,
Or just have a radio drive, like a telephone.
right, you're on the
Like
radio.
they do on like NPR and stuff, like support your local, da, 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 and they can have that This American
Yeah.
Life or whatever it was. This Small Town Life, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
You can have
Like it
that
was
lady
really
on
cute.
and, get some pledges. That's the word, pledges. I
Right.
didn't really
And
understand
but
that.
I did like the fact that they didn't make it a whole, like throughout the whole movie, them going back and forth, hating each other because he was the big bad businessman who took away her funding and she was going to get
Right.
back at it. They were just like, oh, you're doing your job. Okay, well, I'm going to do this festival and you're going to help me, which I thought was funny. She's like, oh, so you're in my bake off. I like when she kept saying bake off and he's like bake sale. And then finally she says bake sale and she's like, oh, bake off.
Also, yeah. Also, I don't really feel like they understand what a Bachelor Bake Off is, at least in my world. Like, if I was going to a Bachelor Bake Off, I wouldn't really care that much about the baked goods, right? You're
It
bidding on
depends
the
on what they're baking.
Bachelor, right?
True.
For a date. But then, like, it got confusing because the mother ended up winning for
Which,
her son.
again, I died laughing because I was like, those two can't go. First of all, I know maybe this isn't, not everybody in Hallmark enjoys these movies, but I kept thinking of Ocean's 11 when those two brothers from Vegas, the James Caan's son was his name, and Casey Affleck, those two brothers that were so dumb throughout the whole movie, but they kept being jokesters. That's who those two brothers made me think of on this movie, and they cracked me up. Everything that they did just made me laugh. And then their poor, their mom at the end. I'm like, there's nobody in this town that wants these two guys. Like, hello. Well, I would have been on them. I would have been on both the brothers.
Yeah, they were hilarious. I loved both of them, those brothers.
Yes.
And I don't know what's wrong with the people in the town. They're not bidding on them because they were very
No.
attractive. And their baked goods looked yummy.
Madison Smith is very attractive. So I'm
Yes.
like, where weren't people lining up to taste his pumpkin delights or whatever they were called? Yeah, I thought it was all very funny. And I like the little kid, Ty. He was
Yeah,
so cute.
this one's sweet. I agree. Ty was very sweet. And, you gotta love a character that has a podcast in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Hello. That was so fun. And the last time there was a podcast in Hallmark movies that I can remember was on the magical Christmas ornaments when it was a very suspect, like
Mm-hmm.
podcaster. Oh, no, no.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's nice to have our little moment of redemption there with him. And
yeah.
it was just very sweet. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah. I liked his storyline. I liked his interactions with both main characters. I just thought I really liked the addition. I'm glad they gave him not just a cursory like, oh, this is just how here fix this. They brought him back a couple more times, and at the end, he had his big moment where he gets on stage and I was like, yes, I really liked it. I really
Yeah.
liked him.
Yeah, he was really good. And I liked that actor. That was very sweet. And I thought him and Tyler had nice little chemistry, I thought,
Yes.
together. And I thought Tyler's character was just the best. He
Yeah.
was so nice and he was so encouraging. And he saw the best in Taylor's character and really was just there to sort of encourage her. But he wasn't like a paragon of virtue either. Like, I really appreciated that he did go to his meeting in Atlanta and he did and so he took his goals and stuff seriously as well. And I don't know, I thought it worked so well when like she's gonna end up being in the bake off and then the audience like parts away and there he is with his suit. It
Yes.
was woo. It
I'm
was
sorry, but you kind of knew it was coming. Like I knew it was coming, and it still was better than
yeah.
I even like in my mind was like, oh, this is coming. I was like, okay, this was executed way better than I imagined. I really liked it.
Yeah, in the final, like I said, the final scene when they're talking about it and he's just so like encouraging. I knew you could do it. you're just amazing. You're the heart of this town was so great. And let's talk about the amazing mid-movie kiss.
I was gonna say we have to get to the best part of the movie.
Yeah, saving it for last because
Okay.
when I did the Kisses podcast with Amy and we talked about my dream come true would be if there was a near kiss and then they went back to kissing. I'm like, how could that never have happened? It's so
Right.
because I am so tired of the near kiss. It's rarely executed well, although we'll talk about one that I thought was in the next in one of the other movies. But I thought they did. I mean, so they have this scene, the lantern walk, and then there's the scene on the bridge, the little bridge, and there's like some noise or whatever that startles them, and so they don't kiss, and I was like, oh. Who would stop kissing at a noise like that? That's ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, Hallmark. And then he starts walking away and she's like, Zach, that's his name, Zach. She's like, Zach. And then she goes for it. I was like, yes.
It was amazing. I audibly gasped. There was an audible sound that came and I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was like, no way. And it was a good kiss too. It was great.
Yes, it really was.
One of the best ever, for sure.
I've watched enough of these now where you know when it's going to happen and you're just like, okay, and it's very sweet and it's very cute. And, most of the time I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. But the magic in some of these has kind of gone away just because you're like, we've watched enough of these, you're like,
Yeah.
But this one, I was just like, oh, it really did.
It
really was pretty swoony. Yeah.
It was so swoon worthy. And it was like, these are grown-ups. These are adults here. This is great. That's what I thought.
They might actually have a chance.
Yeah.
Staying together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I thought pretty much all the supporting cast was good. Alison Wanzura was in this as her friend at the station. There, like I said, Madison Smith was good as one of the brothers. I liked them. They were funny. I liked her, like his boss. I thought he was pretty handsome. And
yeah,
he did a good job. And if I was in that town, the bids would have been like, no mom would have to have won those bids. That was insanity.
Yeah.
And like, what's going on? And overall, it was just a huge win for me. I loved it. And like, yeah, there's a few little tiny nitpicks, but I don't know. I thought it was great.
Agreed.
I might give it 5 crowns.
No.
Yeah.
You did.
I think I might. I liked it so much. And I thought they did so many things you never see. Like I said, the fact that she took that job in the end, I was like, yes. And I just liked the fact that it was all about her and her insecurities and her lack of confidence. And more than it was even about romance. It's like, yes, it was so good. So I'm going to go for it. Why not? I haven't done one, I don't think, for a year except for
I can't believe I'm party to a 5 crowner right now. I'm so honored. I'm in the midst of it. Well, now I feel bad for my rating.
No, don't.
I gave it 4.75 because that font on that code.
Yeah, that's right.
It got me. I was like, no.
That's a very high score. Super high.
It is a very high score. Yes.
Super high. So I went back and forth with my ranking. Right now, I have Signed, Sealed, Delivered to the Altar at number 1 still. It's really hard. And I have Falling for You at number 2. And I might say that I have One Winter Weekend at 3. So, amazing job, Taylor Cole. Way to go.
Taylor Cole.
Yeah.
Bringing in the big guns, too.
You scored. That was very impressive.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because there's some of her roles she plays very powerful businesswoman with an edge.
Yeah.
She has that look. She can look really like striking and very like intense where I wouldn't want to cross her. I'd be like, sure, whatever you say. Taylor Cole.
Well,
You win. But in the last two roles, she's still a professional,
yeah.
and she's still have a career, and but she's a little softer, and maybe that's terrible to say, like, I knew my lady character soft. I don't mean it like that. So,
Like
but I
she's a modern,
enjoyed her personalities
yeah,
in her characters in these last two.
yeah. She's a modern woman, but she's not an ice queen, which I appreciate. And
That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, on the Bubbly Sesh interview with her, she said something to the effect of like she had started out as a model, and so she was still just kind of getting her feet wet. And I got the impression that she's really kind of found herself as an actress, and I think you can
Yeah.
really tell.
Yeah.
And whereas maybe some of those other films that didn't really work for me, like she was still sort of learning, to act, which is fine. So
No, I agree with you.
yeah, so great job, Taylor. Way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely loved it. And I know that Amber also loved Falling for You. It was great.
Yay! Well, and it was written by somebody who they also wrote Miss Christmas, which I love.
That's right. That's right. We are actually going to be interviewing her. Yes, we're going to be interviewing her this Saturday, and I think it's going to get posted on the. Her name's Joey.
Yes, I got it because she also wrote the one on the Mystery Channel.
Yes,
the song one.
Joey Boatkin, I guess. We're going to be interviewing her this Saturday, and we're posting it on the 29th.
Yeah, I've enjoyed everything she's written so far for Hallmark, so it's exciting. I hope she continues to put some good stuff out.
We had I guess I skipped over. I skipped it. I did it wrong. But anyway, so this was actually before. But
I thought, and I was like, well, maybe I don't remember because it was a while ago.
Sorry. So we had All of My Heart Wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our third movie in All of My Heart series. And we left them last time where they had all this struggle and they'd gotten engaged again. And now we're here, and the little plot is Jenny and Brian are planning their incredibly romantic wedding. Emily's country inn is filled to capacity with happy guests. Then a distant relative of Emily's arrives, and she stakes a claim to the house. The pressure is on as Jenny and Brian try to raise enough money to hang onto their home. They go for broke, expanding her company, Jenny's Home Baked. Brian even considers a return to Wall Street. All of the wonderful friends they made in Bucks County are worried about their favorite couple, trying to figure out how to help. Jenny and Brian's enduring love will once again be tested as the wedding day approaches, and they struggle to keep the house that they bought, or that brought them together. So what did you think of 1 and 2 of All of My Heart?
I was like 99% of the Hallmark crowd. I absolutely loved the first one. Just loved it. I thought everything about it was just super cute. Their chemistry was fantastic. It was just a cute story. I just thought it was really, really well done. And I was one of those that was like counting down the days to part 2. And then part 2 came and went, and I was mad. Not gonna lie, I was mad.
I didn't hate it. Yeah. I thought that it had enough like cute moments, and they had such good chemistry. And I thought that because their relationship was so quick, that I could kind of buy those issues kind of coming up again. But it definitely, like, she was unlikable, and her breaking off the engagement was very grown-worthy, and it had major problems. I didn't love it. I just didn't hate it as much as other people. But this, when we were reading, we both gave this basically 0 leaves when we were reviewing. I gave it 0.5 and Amber gave it 0. This description sounded super grown-worthy, and it sounded exactly the same as the second movie. And I was like, what is going on? So I did go into this with very low expectations. Yeah. Do you agree?
I was not excited at the prospect of a mystery relative coming to stake a claim on the house after this long. I was like, really? But
yeah,
I waited.
Agreed.
I waited to see what I thought.
Yeah. So, but what I was most not looking forward to is them going to broke and him considering a return to Wall Street. But like, I feel like the return to Wall Street was like barely in the movie. Like, you didn't even need that in the summary. Like, he never really considers a return to Wall Street. There's a little bit with his dad, but I feel like that was more about him and his dad, like relationship, than it was about him seriously considering a return to Wall Street. So I think that was a bad summary. My least favorite part was the Jenny's Home Baked stuff, although there was a little humor in that because of the cute delivery guy that I was a fan of. It was very and him like getting lost or whatever. Like, it was, but that whole part I was like, not as into. But I did like this movie way better than I thought I would. Personally, I thought it was sweet, and like the end message of like the whole community is like, it's a wonderful life at the end, you know, with them all pitching in this money, and the cousin kind of seeing, oh, look how sweet and how great this town is, and you know, and then the wedding, and I thought that all of that was sweet and pleasant, and I liked it much better than I expected to.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
My only things that I did not like about the movie, well, I agree with you. The Jenny Holmes Bake stuff was kind of unnecessary. I mean, I get it. They needed to show that they were going into debt again, blah, blah, blah. But I just, those parts are boring to me. And the fact that he went to deliver in a rundown van and that's it. That's it. No more. I mean, that just absolutely boggled my mind. I thought it was goofy. But one, it made me realize that the second movie was absolutely unnecessary because this would have made a good sequel to All of My Heart. We could have just done without number two because this was awesome. And the other part that really I didn't like about this movie is it solidified the death of my dream of Tommy and Casey. I wanted them together from the first movie. Tommy and Casey. They're both tall. They're both single. They both live in the village. They're both very attractive. It could have been together from the first movie.
That's really the only thing that carried over from the second movie is the blogger lady.
And it just, Tommy. As soon as I saw her, my little heart deflated and all my Casey and Tommy dreams were killed forever.
Yeah. It was a blow to the heart. But Ed Asner was adorable. He was so cute.
He was. He was cute. And the goats. I'm sorry, but every time those goats are on the screen, all I could watch was their little goat tails shaking, and it cracked me up, and I was like, I was all for it.
I love the scene when their cousin was chased by the goats.
Right.
That was hilarious. And I thought that Pauline Egan did a pretty good job. Like, it's hard to believe that she's Australian. You don't hear it at all. I think she's a pro.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And it actually didn't bug me as I thought it would, that storyline. I thought the resolution was too quick and tidy, but overall, the entire thing didn't bother me. I thought it was actually an interesting.
Yeah. I mean, if all of Bucks County is sitting there willing to give this couple money, like, that would probably melt even Scrooge himself. Like, any business person would be like, okay, fine. But I also thought, like, her and the lawyer, there was a little bit of cuteness going on there.
That was cute.
Yeah, that was cute. And I also thought it was hilarious that, like, her hair, like, became, like, it went from, like, the bun to the ponytail to the, like,
long luxury, and all of a sudden she's like, waterfalls of hair. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's her evolution.
Yeah, that's right. You can sense it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it just ended up being a sweet, fun little movie. I enjoyed, and
I thought it was nice for the fans, like a nice fan movie. Like, this is the last one. It was like a love letter to the fans. Like, here's everything you want, and everything's good, and everybody gets married, and it's awesome.
Agreed. So, how many crowns did you give it?
I gave it actually 4.25. I really enjoyed it, but again, my Casey and Tommy dreams are shattered, so it couldn't go any higher than that.
Oh, wow. So I give it 3.25. I liked it, I guess. So I actually have it at 32. My ranking, I have it just after Frozen in Love and just before the first morning show mystery. We have Under the Autumn Moon, While visiting a dude ranch that is a potential acquisition for the outdoor adventure company she works for, Alex, an eager candidate for a big promotion, discovers what matters most when she reignites her passion for the great outdoors and becomes smitten with the ranch's owner in the process. This stars Lindy Booth, who's been in a number, Recommend Christmas, Christmas Magic, Sound of Christmas. This is her first non-Christmas film. And Wes Brown, who's been in a bunch, Christmas Cookies, Love Under the Stars, June and January. And what was your overall thoughts about this one?
If I can be perfectly honest with you, I tuned out for some of it. I got kind of bored.
I completely agree with you, actually, on this one. I didn't love it. I actually agree that I got pretty bored with it. And I'm just so tired of the Save the Farm movie. It's just not, like, we've seen, talk about Frozen in Love, like, we've seen this plot so many times, and they really did not do anything to make it, like, new or fresh.
No.
We forgot to say Casey Anderson's also in this. They didn't really do anything to make it interesting or fresh or new or surprising. It was pretty boring.
Yeah, I mean, I had some stuff due for work the next day, and I kind of worked on it on the side.
Well, I mean, first of all, so she's sent there to this retreat and to find if she wants to buy this place as a retreat. There were a lot of things that didn't really add up. Like I mean, how big is this company that they need a full-time retreat? You know what I mean? Like, they don't just need to rent out for a couple of weeks. Like, they need one year round? Like, what?
Well, they said we'll also do trainings here, but then they couldn't get any cell phone service. How are you going to train your staff in a place that you can't even use cell phones? And this girl, like I said on Twitter, she was still rolling with 3G on her phone. I'm like, lady, you know you can get on the LTE network pretty cheap now. I'm gonna need you to upgrade your phone.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're not getting service.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and also, like, I didn't really understand the Wes Brown's character attachment to the place because it had just been running not that long, and they had making into a dude ranch had been against the wishes of their dad, and they had gone and done it anyway. So I would have thought that he would be somebody that would be pretty amenable to somebody with a different vision, somebody with a different idea.
Right.
He literally did that to his dad.
Yeah, I didn't understand a lot of, maybe because I didn't pay attention, but I didn't understand a lot of, like, between the training center and the extra warehouse or the extra location and what exactly was it. I know they were an outdoor company, but then he had, like, folding kayaks that you could take out, like, and put together. And I don't know, it just, none of it made sense to me.
Also, it makes no sense, the plan that this guy Roger has, that he's, like, sending Lindy out as, like, this test of, like, her real commitment to the outdoors, or what? And then, like, the Casey Anderson character, like, wants to sell it, and so that means he's not as committed to the outdoors, and so he gets fired for that? Like, what? It made no sense.
I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping he'd be a lot more villainy than he was, because he's really good at it. And once I saw he was in the movie, I was like, yes. And then everything kind of fizzled.
Like, he literally just got fired for having a business opinion that didn't end up mattering anyway. Like, you can't fire somebody for just, like, well, I think you should buy it. Well, you don't. Like, what? What? It was super weird.
I thought it was weird that the boss was like, well, I know you used to ride horses. Like, how do you know that? And he's like, well, our research, oh, it's creepy. It's weird. Like, I used to like to do a lot of things when I was young. I don't want my boss, like, ferreting out that I used to paint and then send me to an art store. Like,
well, I mean, and also, if she, like, at the beginning, she's like, I am so not an outdoors person. But, like, if she had really grown up riding horses, like, that to me is pretty outdoorsy. Like,
yeah.
What? That was weird. And to be completely frank, I didn't think that Wes Brown and Lindy Booth had that great of chemistry. And maybe it was just because I was bored by the story. But I don't know. I thought I would like them together, but then I ended up just being kind of
I thought she should have ended up with Roger, her boss.
Could have seen that.
He was kind of silver foxy, and I was kind of into it. I was like, more
Yeah.
Roger, please.
Yeah, I don't know. Like then there was all the my I guess my favorite part of the movie, and I'm sure if Amber were here, she would be gushing about the side romance between
That
the
was all I needed.
uh the but I guess they were just two people that used to be friends but had lost contact or something, and
I
then
think so.
they ended
They
up
both were
meeting.
with each other, like with other people, every time they were together. So I never really thought of each other like that. And now that they're both single, they're like, oh, maybe. Which she was like sunshine in human form.
Yeah,
She
she
was
was really
so
cute.
joyful. I loved everything about her character.
And
And
it
he
was
was
so funny to me when they said something like, "Oh, San Francisco and in Oakland or whatever are only like an hour away, and it'll be great." And I'm like, you should tell this to the Chesapeake Shore."
so Chesapeake Shore.
This is great.
Oh, Chesapeake Shores.
um, and I thought that like the pie making montages were a lot of fun, and I kind of enjoyed those scenes. Those were pretty
I liked
enjoyable.
her when she couldn't, like when they caught her like totally almost catching the kitchen on fire. I thought that was funny. But, I
Like,
mean,
what kind of pie making was she doing? Like,
I
what's
know, I'm like,
going on?
what's the recipe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, and there's the whole thing with the sister, and he thinks they need to keep it because of the sister, but she actually wants to go out and travel. So there was really little motivation for the character to be such a, I don't know, to be such a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. That I mean,
Just
that's just part of it. Just made it feel a little contrived, and it just wasn't the best.
no.
So, how many crowns do you give it?
I gave it 3 because of Casey Manderson.
But he wasn't in it that much.
Well, yeah. And Roger.
Yeah,
Roger was attractive.
I gave it a 2.75, so we're not that far off. Basically, I have it at number 42
Yeah.
on my ranking. I have it just after one of the Haley Deans, and just before a movie called The Storyteller, which we reviewed. That I thought was super boring. So 42 is this one, which is probably generous, but anyway. All right. So then we get to Love, of Course, and if you want to hear Amber's views on this movie, we are going to be on the Bubbly Sesh this week talking about Love, of Course. So make sure
Yeah.
when we find out, I'll put the link in the description section, and you can check, and also you can check that out. But anyway, that was a lot of fun to get to talk to them about that.
Yeah.
But our little summary is Amy has spent most of her adult life helicoptering around her daughter, Kara, especially since her husband died 6 years earlier. With reluctance, Amy is helping Kara head off to college in another city. She then conveniently lands a job at Kara's college, much to Kara's dismay. When Amy meets Noah, a charismatic, well-traveled professor, she learns more about herself and discovers a new life of her own filled with romance. So this stars Cameron Matheson, who we of course know and love from Summer to Remember, Very Very Valentine, and so many more, Christmas Ornament, all that fun stuff. Kelly Rutherford, this is her debut. I had never heard of her before, but I guess she was on Melrose Place. And what was your overall thoughts about this one?
It had Cameron Matheson in it, and he could have just walked around with that wheelbarrow all day, and I watched it and enjoyed it. So, yes, I was in. There was some really, really ridiculous parts, but I
Yeah,
still had
I
fun
kind
with
of,
it.
again, I went into this with pretty low expectations actually, because I felt like Hallmark was kind of hiding it a little bit. Like we never saw a poster till really late in the game. It felt like they just weren't promoting it that much. And so I don't know, I was just kind of expecting it to not be great. And
Yeah.
I actually thought it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. There's definitely some groan-worthy stuff for sure. But overall, I actually really liked it. I thought that it was nice to see like a more mature couple. And I thought that the relationship between her and her daughter was really well done. And I thought pretty
Yeah.
mature. And I enjoyed that. My biggest problems with the movie is I did not like the music. I was not a fan of really any of the music, which
No.
I don't know. What about you? What was your favorite parts of the movie?
I wasn't a fan of the music. I agree with you. I liked that their relationship, even though they were, they are more, an older couple, not they're by no means old, but
Right.
they were an older than average, they weren't 20 somethings finding their way. Um, it still seemed rather flirty, like the texting and the looks and the little
Mhm.
like, okay, kind of like it's getting together to do stuff. I don't know, it just felt really flirty and fun, and it made it. I could see how really easy it would feel like, oh, you feel young again, and I don't know. I just thought it was really cute. I loved all their little interactions. The fact that he came over and brought her soup, and she was sick,
Yeah,
and like, I mean, that was all just cute.
that
Oh,
was such a swoon-worthy moment. The soup.
yeah.
That was my gush. And spoiler alert to my gush on Bubbly Stash. That was my gush
I was like, I know what that means. Yes.
on Bubbly Stash because I thought that was so romantic. And
Yeah.
she's like, I look terrible. He's like, never. I never would have thought that. And that was really, really
Yeah.
swoon-worthy. And yeah, it's just not even remotely. What did you think of all the Marco Polo stuff?
Okay. The first time I thought it was funny. Like when they were in the cornfield, I thought it was funny. I actually thought it was really cute because I mean, I do that sometimes when I'm out and we're in a big place. At the end, I thought it was really corny. I didn't like
You didn't like
it.
it. I thought it was
Oh,
corny.
yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. It worked for me. I thought it was kind of swoon worthy, but yeah, it's totally cheesy for sure. So I get it. But I was confused with this one about what the purpose of this festival was because they were having to earn money, fundraise money to put on the festival. But at first I thought the festival was a fundraiser, but it seemed like they were
Right.
actually it was going to be very expensive. And if they're making that, that corn maze, like I feel like you would have to have that corn maze open the entire fall to recoup all of that like investment. And like
Right.
when they pulled up to that wide shot of the of the corn maze, I was like, oh, it was this massive thing. I'm like,
It
how
was
on earth?
ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
It was
And
absolutely ridiculous.
and like as completely sexy as it was seeing Cameron Matheson on that tractor, like I didn't understand why he didn't just go to his car. Like, why did she have to come and bring him the gas?
Why didn't you just walk out? Like, you walk out, you go get gas, and you come
That's what
back,
I'm
as
saying. Like,
whoever
surely he
farmer
had a
would
vehicle.
do. Well, yeah, and I'm okay. Coming from Texas, I never went to a lot of corn mazes,
Yeah,
and up here there are pumpkin patches and there are apple orchards and there's stuff. And
yeah,
so in the fall, guess what? They have corn mazes, and it's like I don't know, like a 100 foot by 100 foot stacks of baled hay that they make into elaborate, and because nobody wants to actually destroy their corn. I was thinking, what is he doing? Like, for real, why is it that big? Just make it a little plot for little kids to run in that.
yeah.
God, I was like, this is like Field of Dreams type.
It
Let's
was
just mow everything down and build a baseball field.
like,
Okay.
like you don't need to set a world record, dude. Like, what?
I mean,
It was
he
so
really went
funny.
for it. I'm like, oh, he's legit. Like, ugh. I watched this one with my parents, and my dad was like, "What is he doing?"
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Um, yeah, so it was really confusing to me. Like they say that the festival hasn't earned money in 3 years, and so I was like, what is the purpose just to? I guess the purpose has just been it's basically been like an annual farmers
Fundraiser.
market, but if it's not
Fundraiser
making
for
money
the
every year,
program?
it was
I don't know.
confusing. But
It was confusing.
but I did, like I said, I liked the maturity of the relationship between her and her daughter. I thought that was good. And uh, I thought that they had actually pretty good chemistry between the two of them, Karen Matheson and Kelly Rutherford.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that. I liked that he was the one in the end who had to give up his job opportunity and not move, which I kind of liked. I mean, I guess they both moved, but like I was a little bit confused about how she had been supporting herself all this time because her husband had been dead for 6 years and she hadn't had a job. But then she says she's an accountant from LA and she's just been working
Yeah.
from home or what? I was confused.
Yeah, I think at the beginning her friend alludes to is, I mean, you were really good at this, event planning, you could come help me out. I mean, is accounting really what you want to be doing for the rest of your life? And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess that was like a little hint into that's what she's been doing, just random accounting for a company. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I took from it. And I just thought, well, that must be nice to be able to just take time off and take another side job in a
Yeah.
totally different state and not have to worry about your mortgage or anything. But we
Yeah.
can
She's
only
just
dream.
independently wealthy. And this had a really good life insurance plan on this
Yeah, like, okay, well, I mean,
the other scene that I thought was super grown worthy was the apple planting scene. Because that is
oh,
not how you plant apple trees. You do not just like put a seed in the ground like that. It was ridiculous. Like you have to
yeah,
make like the little, I don't know what they're called, but at like the nursery, and then there's like those potted plant
yeah,
little starters or whatever, and then you like start
right,
wing and you grow it, and then once it's pretty big, then you take it and then you plant it in the ground.
right.
Like you do not like that was
She's all
so
sprinkling seeds in a little hole. She's like this? He's like,
yeah
perfect.
absurd. That was ridiculous. Like I mean maybe Johnny Appleseed did back in the day, but not for a long time. And this was supposed to be a professor. And
Yeah,
I thought that the one of the Bubbly sisters did make a good point that like why even make him a professor? It's kind of weird whenever they have a farmer on Hallmark, they always make him like a scientist farmer. Like
yeah, you're right.
in Harvest Wedding, for instance, he's like sort of a scientist farmer, guy or whatever. Like, what's wrong with just being a farmer?
Right. Well,
You don't need
had the
to.
V-necks for it. It worked for me just to watch him, like I said, walk around with that wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
you could just do that. I don't understand how people go into movies with him because he is so good at making you feel like making you think like he's really into this person. And I can only imagine in real life standing in front of him being like, oh my God, yes, we're totally in love. You're
yeah.
right. We're totally in love. I
But
love everything about you.
yeah, I agree. But I thought that because this is directed by Lee Friedlander, and I think she does a really good job of making stories that really like showcase female characters and get the emotion right, like I said, between this mother and daughter. And I think that her writing partner,
Oh, Tracy Andreen. I
yeah,
like all of her stuff.
yes. And I actually thought the writing was pretty solid in this movie. And I think that Lee and Tracy really did a good job of, elevating it, putting in humor, like making the chemistry work. I liked, there was just some funny lines, like when she says, the line about it got all children of the corn on it. It says
That was
goblet of
funny.
fire meets children of the corn. Like that was
That was
funny.
funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny.
And so I thought that the script was actually pretty solid. And yeah, I got a little distracted that children of the corn thing you did.
Gosh,
And I actually thought the Marco Polo thing was cute. Like it's usually not done. It's usually a pool game, but it
yeah.
worked for me. I thought it was flirty and kind of cute, and overall, I think they did a good job. I ended up enjoying it way better than I thought I would, and let's see here. there was a lot of little like flirty moments. Like they have this like these when she's sick, when they have that cozy tractor ride together, and it's like really flirty, and it was kind of funny because there's that point where her daughter's like, you haven't even talked to me in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was funny. And I also liked that they were going to hire Mick Banjo as their band. I would have liked to have heard Mick Banjo. And I also really liked, so they have a near kiss in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it was one of the rare near kisses that actually worked because it was based on her insecurity, not some random noise that separates them or something artificial. It was actually because she was insecure. So I think if you're going to have a near kiss, that's how to do it. Like make it part of her personality, part of her journey, I think. So it worked.
I'm like on a podcast of firsts. I mean, you gave 5 crowns to a movie, and now you're saying the near kiss worked. That's it. It's peaked.
It is. This is true. You are an epic podcast.
I've peaked. I can't come on anymore.
No. But you know what I'm saying? Do you agree at all? Yeah.
No, I agree. I liked it. I liked the way it was executed. I kind of forgot about it until you said it just now because I was like, oh yeah, they did. Almost. Yeah. Then he did the kiss on the forehead.
Yeah.
Which sometimes squicks me out, but it worked on this one. I gave it a pass. I liked it.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then the festival happens, and it's a huge success, very exciting. And the daughter is very supportive of her mom. I liked that she asked her daughter's permission, or at least her consultation before just moving. Like she was very respectful of her daughter. And and her daughter even kind of becomes the matchmaker at a certain point because she's like, oh, you haven't accepted the job in Sydney? Oh,
Like, be right back. Hold on. The daughter was like, be right back. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Go over there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cute. And she said, I can change that, but only if you want to. Believe me, I want to. That was really good. And then we get a pretty good final kiss. And I loved that he says, she says, why are you staying? And he says, for love, of course. That was great.
Titular. Can't go wrong with titular. Yeah.
That's right. Back to the name of the movie. I'm like, yes, they nailed it. That was great.
All I needed was a freeze frame at the end, and I would have been all good. Just one big.
Yeah. So how many crowns did you give this one?
I give this one 4.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I was thinking you weren't as into it as me.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I
actually gave it 3.5.
Ooh.
I know. But I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. And so I have it at number 17 in my rankings. Nice. I have it just after Pearl in Paradise and before Garage Sale Mysteries, Murder in D Minor. So I have it there at 17.
Okay.
So yeah. And just for the record, I loved the Daru entry, and it is at number 4. You don't have to talk about it tonight, but just for the record, it was
nice.
So great.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on it.
Of the Fall Harvest is number 1, Falling for You. Then number 2, I have Love, of Course. Number 3, Truly Madly Sweetly. And then number 4, All of My Heart, The Wedding. And then 5, Under the Autumn Moon. That's my ranking.
Nice. We were so close. Okay. Can I do mine in reverse order?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So number 5, I have Under the Autumn Moon. Number 4, I have Truly Madly Sweetly. Number 3, I have Love, of Course. Number 2, I have All of My Heart, The Wedding. And number 1, of course, just like you, Falling for You.
Oh, it was so good. It was epic.
Okay, I'll watch it again tonight.
Great.
As I'm going to sleep. Okay.
Well, let us know what you thought of the Fall Harvest movies. Did you love them as much as we did? Or did you like or not like them? What are your thoughts? Put in the comment section or on Twitter. We'd love to hear. And let us. And it's going to be very exciting. We have so much content coming out the next 2 weeks. You guys are going to be amazed. It's going to be so much fun. And Christmas is just going to be epic. So make sure that you're following us on all the social media and please put in your reviews on iTunes. It really helps us out, helps more people to find us. We just are so grateful for you to take a minute of your time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. So thank you very, very much. And so Lisa, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Girl Gone Hallmark.
Great. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. I've been doing Disney Scares Month all month. And this is my 3rd year doing it. So if you want some good, fun, family appropriate scary movies, check out my channel. I'd really appreciate it. So lots of fun stuff going on in the world of Hallmark and on our podcast. So look forward to it and let us know your thoughts. And thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.